This is just a short tutorial on how to create a form that will guide students toward their learning. The first thing you want to do is create a new Google form in Google Drive. Give it a name, so we'll call this Demo Guided Learning. And I'm going to use the GMath add-on because I'm a math teacher. If you're not a math teacher, you won't need to go through this add-on, but if you go to the add-ons menu and click on Get Add-ons, you can click on GMath and there will be a button to install it. I use GMath to create graphs, but you can do this with any topic. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a prompting question. So I'm going to give students a graph and I'm going to ask them to determine just from the graph what the degree of the polynomial is. So what is the degree of the function shown below? And I'm just going to type in my function here, so I'll call it x to the fourth minus 3x cubed plus 4. And I can click on the preview button here, and it'll show my graph down here in the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually adjust the range of the graph. So I'll make the x min minus 2, and I'll go up to positive 4. And I'll make my y's 5 and 5. So I'll click preview again, and that'll show me the graph there. You know what? I'm actually going to do this here. I'm going to adjust this because I feel like this doesn't show quite enough. And I'll change the step to be 2. So I'm going to click on the insert button. And I can get rid of this first question that was shown there. So now I've got the graph, which is an image, and it says what is the degree of this function, and I've got a question and the answer type is text. What I want to do is I actually want to change this question type. I'm going to make it multiple choice. And I'll give students the option to choose 5, 4, 3, 2, or I don't know. And I'll make that a required question. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to direct students where to go based on what they answer. So to do that, I need to actually add a few page breaks. So I'm going to have one page that says not quite right, and I'm going to add a page break that says you got it, and I'm going to add a final page here that says helpful hints. Now, the first thing I want to do is, on helpful hints, I'm actually going to add a video. And I'm going to add the URL of a YouTube video that I found for how to determine the degree of an equation when given a graph. So I just paste that YouTube URL, select the video, click done, and now I'm going to add another question here. That is, choose from a list. So, if they say they're ready to continue, I will take them back to the beginning to try and re-answer that question. If they're not ready, I'll just have them submit the form. This is somewhere where you could branch off even more, but for this demonstration, I'm going to skip that part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another choose from a list. This question is when they get it not quite right. And then the final one I'm going to do is when they get it, I'm actually going to just submit the form. So now we have to set up our branching logic. So when we go to this first question that we asked them, the multiple choice, the branching logic gives us the option to go to page based on answer. This works for multiple choice or choose from a list. So what I'm going to do is, if they give me a not quite right answer, I'm going to send them to not quite right. So 5 is not quite right. 4 is right, so I'm going to send them to you got it. 3, not quite right. 2 is not quite right. And then I don't know, I'm going to send them right to the helpful hint. So that's going to direct them. Now when I go to not quite right, I'm going to say go to page based on answer. So I've given them one hint, and I can send them back to the question, or I can send them to the actual help video. I'm going to make this a required question. And then for helpful hints, we've got, are you ready to continue? And if they're ready, they go back. If not, they're going to submit the form. And then the last thing to do here on you got it, after this page, I actually want to submit the form. So we've actually set up a branching logic form. And if you click on View Live Form, you'll see you can actually go through and you'll say, what is the degree of the function shown below? I'll say it's 5. And it says not quite right. Check the graph and see how many times it changes direction. But you know what might be helpful in this page would be another copy of the graph. So what I'm going to do is go up to the top, I'm going to click on the image, and I'm going to click that button to duplicate it. And now I'm actually going to drag it down underneath the not quite right section header. And I'll just put this question underneath. So now if I look at the form and I get it not quite right, it'll show me the image again. So check the graph and see how many times it changes directions. If I still don't know what to do, I can click on continue and it will open up this YouTube video. So I hope that helped, and now you're ready to try doing this on your own.